Pope Francis has suggested that World War III is already in progress, as evidenced by the intertwined elements at work in the Russia-Ukraine crisis.
Like it or not, some on Wall Street fear that after last week's inflation report, it may prompt the Fed, I should say, to be even more aggressive than it originally signaled. You see, earlier this month, Federal Reserve officials indicated June's rate hike would be half a percentage point. But that sentiment changed after Friday's CPI report showed a bigger jump than expected in inflation.
He was a 30-year-old man, and I was 16.
Abel Seth recalls meeting this man, John Barnes, at a bar in Hammond back in 2005. He offered to take her home.
Instead of bringing me home, he brought me to his home. And once inside, he proceeded to rape me on his living room couch.
Abel Seth did not know Barnes before that night, but came away from it pregnant.
Everybody else just assumed it was from a boyfriend, and I just let them believe that.
Abel Seth had a healthy baby girl, and everything was fine until John Barnes learned sometime in 2011 that he might have a daughter.
When my daughter was 5 years old, he found out about her. And once he found out about her, he basically pursued custody. And
global stockpiles are expected to begin growing for the first time in recent history. The risk of nuclear weapons being used is higher than at any time since the height of the Cold War, and this is the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute saying this, who's a leading nuclear weapons watchdog. This is why, guys, every major military in the world is starting to arm itself to the tits. And this...
We have been warned that a devastating food crisis would hit the entire planet sooner rather than later. But most of us didn't imagine things would actually escalate so quickly. The global food crisis we were told to prepare for is already upon us, and it is reaching apocalyptic proportions as problems continue to pile up. Millions of people that are already facing hunger will be pushed to the brink of starvation in the coming months. Even those who have been insulated from such problems up until this point are likely to experience food insecurity this year as shortages become far more extensive than anticipated. Farmers, industry executives, and global authorities are saying that there is not going to be enough food for everyone this year, 2022. And if all of that seems too hard to believe, hopefully you'll change your mind and start preparing after you watch this video. Today, we have compiled some of the most alarming facts, estimates, and predictions about the challenges we are all going to face this year. But before moving on, please support us by leaving a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel to keep updated with the most important news. We are at the very early stages of a modern tragedy that will result in a humanitarian crisis that is unlike anything we've ever seen. This is not a drill. The food crisis that is now unfolding all over the world is developing so rapidly that global leaders are getting extremely fearful about the short-term future of humanity. In recent weeks, a number of authorities, industry executives, and farmers came forward to warn about the severity of the situation. On Saturday, the CEO of Crew Intelligence told the UN Security Council that the world will enter a critical phase in less than 3 months as food supplies continue to get tighter and tighter. Sarah Minker alerted that the planet only has 10 weeks worth of wheat left. 10 weeks to deal with the crisis before it reaches catastrophic levels. This is seismic, Minker said. Even if the conflict between Russia and Ukraine were to end tomorrow, our food security problem is not going away anytime soon without concerted action, Minker stressed. Adding that, without aggressive global actions, we stand the risk of an extraordinary amount of human suffering and economic damage.
In February 2020, a shocking video surfaced in China. Off camera, someone is giving African children sentences to repeat.
我是黑鬼，我是黑鬼，自杀鸡，自杀鸡，
It was posted on a Chinese social media account called, get this, Jokes About Black People Club. Some people were laughing. Others were outraged. The word the kids are using is heigui, which could be translated as black monster or black devil, but really, it's the Chinese equivalent of the N-word.
They're not taking the right from you. They're saying we just want some of the rights that you have. Blacks said we want some of the rights you have. Women said we want some of the rights you have. We're not taking any of your rights away. We just want some of those rights that you've been given because you've been a white male. The one man that's never really had to fight for anything. A white man in America has never had an amendment that says you can't go here or you can't do that. So we got to pass this legislation so you can. Every other minority has had to have amendments and legislation in place so they can get certain things that the white man has been afforded for 400 years.
That is a fact. The other night, I had to watch a female officer who on January 6th was attempting to defend the White House say that she was slipping in the blood of her fellow officers.
Yeah, I thought blue lives matter. I thought all lives matter. You know, when black people that know black lives matter, white lives matter too, blue lives matter. Oh, I guess now all of a sudden come January 6th, blue lives doesn't matter anymore.
Is abroad. These military operations do not fall within the traditional concept of war, according to Beijing. We know what special military operations are, and it's kind of a synonym for an invasion. However, I will say that Russia has not, contrary to popular belief, waged all-out war on Ukraine. Otherwise, Kiev would have been leveled a long time ago. The fact that it hasn't is a result of the Russians not having a general mobilization and having a relatively small force go and conduct military operations. Okay, I don't want to give too much credence to that euphemism,